Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile, Escape from the Pit. We are back in the western reaches of the Great Cave, where hopefully we won't be interrupted by brigands every couple of minutes. If we go over here, this sign says, "This way to Shaney's Bazaar. Something for everyone. Many wondrous things." Sounds cool. Tucked into this distant corner of this distant cavern, you find a tent. Yes, an actual tent of leather and canvas. A woman inside beckons you. "Come in, come in." A sign by the entrance says, "Shaney's Bazaar." The tent is small, scented with some sort of strange incense, and packed beyond comprehension with all sorts of items. There are weapons, armor, and crafts of Slith and Nephilim make. Bustling among the items is a short, stout, impossibly animated woman. "Welcome to my bazaar," she says. "I am Shaney, and when someone wants something, they come to me. I'm as useful as I am distant. Would you like to see my wares?" Well, of course. So Shaney is another random item merchant, and boy is her inventory garbage right now. Stone axe, darts, stone spear, and a cursed helm. Oof. If we're ever back in this corner, we'll have to visit her again and hope for better luck. Yikes. I'm not sure I've ever seen a random item shop with inventory that bad before. So we could continue along this wall here. You are in a sparse forest of the scraggly, twisted trees that grow in Exile. They, combined with the poisonous mushrooms growing in abundance, provide a rather bizarre landscape. There is evidence of a fair amount of tree cutting here. This is probably the main source of wood for the area. This whole area is one enormous ruin. It seems that, at one point, some people tried to form a town here. You find ruined stone cottages, shells of farms, and ragged patches of edible mushrooms, choked out by toadstools in abundance. It looks like everything of value was cleaned out long ago. At any rate, you don't have the time to search the entire ruin. Well, we can presume that the town was founded to try and take advantage of this grove of fungal trees, but either because of the Slith War or poor soil conditions or some other reason, they decided to abandon it. Brigands and gremlins, please go away. In this wide tunnel under a huge stone mound, you find a large combined mine and ironworks. Sweaty, sooty men and women pull out ore and process it, so that it may be shaped into weapons to combat the many foes of Exile. Near the smelter, you find a blacksmith selling a wide variety of quality armor. Let's take a look. We've got some bronze, some iron, and even some steel armor. Pretty nice. Also not going to spend money on that right now. I'll be back when I've dispatched these guys. Man, I really don't like enemy wizards. I also really don't like gremlins, but fortunately, one's out in the field run away from me. Hee hee. So, there is one more town in these parts. Darmon. You are at the entrance to a hollowed-out area in the center of a huge stone mound. Inside, you see cramped buildings and people hustling about their daily business. This is Darmon, a town hollowed out of the living rock of Exile, and a pretty significant mining and manufacturing town. There is a man here wearing fine steel armor, a heavy saber, hands at his side. I think the author meant hangs. Thaddeus! He clicks his heels together sharply. "I'm a member of the Thad Squad. We keep Darmon safe from all harm, so keep on our good side now." Thad Squad because they're all named Thaddeus. Hee hee. Oop. Cannot actually explore much of the outside of Darmon. Brass plaque says barracks. Prison, authorized personnel only. A woman with a halberd stands by the door. She doesn't look impressed by you at all. Eve. Guarding this door. To the prison. To the prison, which you aren't allowed into. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to try unlocking that door right now, because I don't want to antagonize the big armor-wearing woman. You look important, sir. You see an extremely placid, grey-haired man. He sits at the desk, twiddling his thumbs. I am Mayor de Bry, and I'm always glad to welcome visitors to Darmon. I keep out of the way, mainly. The people of Darmon are an independent lot, and wouldn't let me be mayor if I bothered them. So I mainly do paperwork and deal with the council. Now there I have to work. I and the other 5 mayors have been working like crazy to come up with ideas to deal with the sliths. Plans, tactics, supplies, entertainment. And Micah just had to come up with that crazy scheme of his. Scheme which we are about to be involved in. King Micah wants to hire a bunch of adventurer assassins. No way. Running the war is our job, all ours. I hope you want another group of adventurers come looking for a royal token, because if so, you're going to be disappointed. Apparently doesn't know a whole lot about what goes on in his own town. Yeah, so the mayor is mostly useless around here. City Hall. I like the rows of statues and mushroom-lined pathways. The Darmon Arms, fine food and lodging. A small, sweet-looking woman with a baby at her breast sits in the corner. She smiles at you. I'm Malka. Hello. Waiting. For you. Okay. The scimitar's blade is sharp, and its eyes see far. Oh, excuse me for a moment. She burps the baby. Where was I? Oh, yes. If you wish to strike a mighty blow for Exile, go see our contact. His name is Royce. He lives in Blosk. Ask him of the scimitar. We need your help. We all do. She starts changing the baby's diaper. Interesting. Seems we have a few people to talk to back in Blosk next time we swing around that way. A buxom woman with wild black curly hair and a thick accent of some sort bellows orders around the bar. Her cleavage is awe-inspiring. I'm Nixa, sweetie. What can I do for you? She smiles and leans against the bar. Her bodice moves around a lot. Well, honey, I have a room for you. Only 5 gold and a view of the lake. Or a tankard of mead. Well, cave mead. Can't get honey, so we use moss. Try it. It's good. 3 gold. Let's try this mead. She gives you a mug of mead. It still has bits of moss floating at the top. It's strong stuff and gut-churningly nasty. Good, huh? Nixa grins and breathes heavily. Actually could use a room after the fight with those brigands earlier. Aw, she promised a view of the lake. There's no view here. There's no windows. Lame. Sometimes in some of the games, innkeepers can be good sources of information, but not this city, not in this game. You have the unique pleasure of meeting a sleazy-looking guy in ratty clothes. He has a scraggly graying beard and a unique odor. Ripple, I'm overjoyed to meet you. I work. I don't beg. I sell things. Well, for example, if you give me 10 gold, I'll sell you some information. Sure, why not? Well, there are lots of bandits to the north. I noticed. And they fence their goods here. That part is interesting. Though I don't know how they get them in. But for 100 gold, a modest fee, I'll tell you something about the jail. Do tell. They got a guy in there, name's Ellen. I heard him bragging about stealing some valuable jewelry, but it got taken from him. Then he got taken. I don't know how you'd get in to see him, but the thing he had was real precious. Well, that does sound like some interesting information for adventuring types. And what's with this row of statues tucked in back here? Ho ho! A statue of some mayor long dead stares down at you disdainfully. Then it blinks. It purses its lips in disgust that you would dare speak to it. It ignores you. Divulge your secrets. It sighs and speaks. Some bandits were talking back here, and I overheard them. They have a storehouse of stolen goods hidden somewhere in Darmon. They also said something about a magic weapon. And that's all we're getting from him. Alchemist. You meet an ancient woman in a black dress. She is sitting behind the counter, grinding something with a mortar and pestle. She smiles enigmatically. Names have power, child. I am an alchemist. Many are my potions, and strange are their powers. I have a secret, one which may be interesting to you. Only 100 gold, and I have recipes as well. I have the recipe for an excellent poison, deadly beyond words, using the rare asp-tongue mold. I am also one of the few who can teach you how to make resurrection mold. It uses ember flowers, which only grow far to the northeast, west of Fort Draco. In my generosity, I will let you buy these recipes from me. I think I will actually get the recipe for resurrection balm. Never know at the higher levels when I might actually want some of that. Killer poison's a little bit pricey for us right now. But you also mentioned a secret. To the east, far to the east, is a cave of lava and steam. To the north of it, not far, is a secret cavern. In it is the best source of crypt shrooms. Use them well. Aw man, we didn't have to pay money for that secret. We already found it. Oh well. We can just beat up a few brigands and get the gold back pretty easily. There is a large stone sign by the path. Temple of the Vibrant Light. Sermons daily at sunrise. How they figure out when sunrise is underground, we don't know. There should be a priest in here somewhere. Where is he? There he is. Trying to skip town on us? A muscular man with raven black hair, pointed beard, and a huge mace strides about the temple. He seems to radiate confidence and energy. Greetings, adventurers, he says in a booming baritone. You are welcome here. I am Malville. I guard this place of light and peace in these dangerous times. I welcome all here who come with open hearts and peaceful intent, and provide healing and information. He grins. Well, you seem new to the area, so I'll tell you what's nearby. To the north is the Abyss, home to the misfits of Exile. Fort Remote is to the south, guarding exactly nothing. The caves to its west have a dragon, but I can say little about it. Or if purchasing spells interests you, I can still help you. Heck yes. Oh, we can buy one of these, Revive All or Divine Thud. I will get Revive All for now, as a rather good party healing spell, and we'll have to come back later for Divine Thud. Believe that is a pretty good priestly damaging spell. And of course, if I ask for healing, I go right back to the buy healing screen. Sign on the wall, Clive's fine weaponry. Actually, before I forget, your sign mentioned sunrise. You have nothing to say to me about that. They go into a bit more detail on that in the remake, but I actually like Malville's personality in this one better than in the most recent remake. A nondescript man sits sharpening a bunch of kitchen knives. He seems pretty detached. Oh, hello. I'm Clive. He doesn't seem too happy to see customers. Oh. I have weapons available for purchase. For what it's worth. And you can sell me some of your weapons too, I suppose. Hell of a life, huh? He stares at you blankly. I don't mind dying alone in this pit, my throat slit by bandits. Oh no, I'm glad I got thrown down here for no reason at all. And I'll rot, and mushrooms will eat me, and I'm always cold. And I sit here in this moldy shop. I love my life. It's wonderful. Now buy something and go away. Bronze arrows, throwing knives. Pretty decent selection of weapons, actually. Lemonwood bow. Do I have one of those already? I think I do. Yes, Zoe is in fact packing a lemonwood bow. And I've already sold off anything I might have sold back in Blosk. Sign on the wall says, Hestia's Fine Edibles. A smaller sign underneath. Sale on marinated mushrooms. Yum yum. A charming, voluptuous woman sits behind the counter, mixing up some sort of pâté. Jars of preserved meats and preserves surround her. The smell is mouth-watering. I am Hestia. Welcome. I sell delicious gourmet comestibles. You may purchase some if you wish. They cost more than you may be used to paying, but I think you'll find the taste makes it worth it. All this is just my little contribution. To the life of exile. I was miserable when I first came down here, but then I realized that maybe I could make something good, to make down here as good as up there. So I started finding ways to make the food better, and I think I succeeded. Now my husband, Clive, is still depressed about it, but, well, what can you do? So she's married to the dour fellow next door. So we can pay 12 gold per 6 food, and unfortunately, since it's all in the form of generic rations, we can't tell any difference whatsoever. Yay! So that seems to be all of the town of Darmon, but I'm pretty sure there's more here. I've got a sapphire, so let's fire up the magic map spell. Okay, there's some sort of extra chamber in here, and quite a lot on the north side of town. No clear way of getting to it from where we are, but we can try entering town from the north. Is there any way to get over there? No, apparently there is absolutely nothing over here. Just, Jeff Vogel having a little fun with a map editor, I guess. Oh, rats. Let's equip some arrows and see if I can hit something for decent damage. Hit something, yes. Decent damage, not really. I haven't been training Zoe's archery skill too much yet. More focusing on the pole weapons and base fighter skills. You found the trash heap of the city of Darmon. Lucky you. Oh boy. Ah, and a secret passage with a boat on my end. And this is how we sneak into the prison. A grimy man paces back and forth in his cell. He looks at you wearily. Eldon. Look, I didn't steal anything, and I don't have to answer any of your questions, so bugger off. You have no evidence. And we can ask him about jewelry. Doesn't know about a necklace. Can't get much out of him right now. At least not without knowing just the right words to ask him. This narrow corridor is lined with skulls. Ominous. Silly bandit, skulls don't make effective traps for me. Except that one. Of course the door is locked. Really? There we go. Oh, you're not nice. I don't like you very much at all. Have that, and this, and some of that. And now I cast Major Blessing to undo the cursing and slowing. Much better.
Cool.
Another lemon wood bow. And a wand of slow. I like things that I don't have to identify before I sell here. This tiny, well-guarded room seems to be some sort of hidden storehouse for stolen goods. Well, at least you think the goods might be stolen. Ah, nuts. Time for more poison curing. There's a crate here. You don't say. The crate explodes and shoots gas into the air and summons a demon in the bargain. It would seem someone doesn't want you messing around here. Oh dear. Ow. Major Blessing again. Let's try ice bolting you. Why do my ice bolts never do very good damage? Well, he's dead. Yeah, bronze axe isn't really worth picking up. And I'm going to save my game before looking in other crates. Okay, this one's empty. This one has been tripped. These three, we'll find out. Ow. Simon! Heals, please. Let's see what Revive All does. Oh, that did a significant chunk of healing. And you are in range of multiple weapons. And I am getting real tired of casting more Major Blessings. I should probably just reload. But then I don't get the pleasure of killing a bunch of demons. This one does not explode in my face. Yay! In the crate, you find a lethal-looking rapier. Interestingly, the blade is covered with a thin layer of greenish fluid that doesn't look like oil. Oh, the crate does explode in my face. Yay! And summons another demon. Yay! Okay. More bronze weapons and a ring. And we will look in this one crate just to be thorough. It explodes and doesn't give me anything good. Well, that was pretty intense. How about we leave here and go take a rest outside? Actually, no, I'd rather leave the boat where we don't need to go through the garbage patch to deal with it. So, let's take a quick rest here before moving on. Now let's go check out the south side of the Great Cave. There's some hungry lizards following us, but we don't need to worry too much about them. This mostly seems to be a more barren and empty corner of the caves, though there is a fort back here. Fort Rimmersht. Sign is barely readable because of the moss and mold. Yeah, people don't really come out here very much. So, again, we have a fort with quite a lot of empty space in front of it. Fort remote. Please don't startle guards. Aha. Apparently these guys do not see a lot of action. Fort remote seems aptly named since it is far from everything. A heavily armored guard leans against the wall, snoring. Because of the helm, you can't tell if the guard is male or female. The guard doesn't respond. You decide not to push the issue. So yeah, they see so little action, the guards basically get to nap on duty. Hello? A woman in steel plate huddles in the corner. She has a huge sword and an even bigger hangover. She moans and grabs her head. Speak quietly, please. I'm Bronwyn. I'm the commanding officer out here in the back end of nowhere. She delicately sips some water from a bowl. Okay, ask about nowhere. And spell it correctly. That's where we are. I could have been at the front, dealing death to sliths and doing some good. But here I am, at good old Fort Irrelevant. That's what we are, what I am. The only thing that could possibly attack us is the Drake, and it keeps to itself. Drake? Mick claims he saw it. Ask him about it. As for me, I'm waiting to recover so I can resume my drinking. It's a dirty habit, but it keeps me from getting too angry. I'll get transferred someday. Good luck with that, Bronwyn. You meet a petite, oddly pretty woman with long brown hair. She nods and looks you over. I'm Belinda. I'm the chef. Well, cook, really. That's what I do. Would you like a taste? She runs and gets you bowls of stew. It's delicious. She flutters her eyelashes at all of you. I put extra effort into my cooking. Helps relieve everyone's tedium. Nothing has ever attacked Fort Remote. Nothing ever will. But we keep busy. I have my own hobby. She grins evilly. Just say my name to Mick. He'll be out west. Get his reaction. That's what my hobby is. So, kitchen, storage. It's a pretty small fort, really. Though as we've established, they don't really have a whole lot to guard against. A man wearing a large ankh and a subdued expression sits at the desk playing solitaire. He jumps up. Oh, a visitor! Welcome to Fort Remote. I'm I sort of give orders here. It's not like there are many to give. But when they come up, I give them. Things get rather tedious, I'm afraid. Open the gates, close the gates, stop bickering, let's have dinner, that sort of thing. Tedious. Yes, this fort was built before the big wars with the Sliths and Nephilim. We were afraid of attacks from the tunnels to the west. But hardly anything lives in there, and the things that do really don't do much, so we have nothing to guard against. To stave off madness, we busy ourselves with other activities. Well, I play solitaire. He waves at the desk. I've played thousands of games. Won, too. Pointless, really. Then we all take part in the standard pointless love affairs, have meals, exercise, have sing-alongs. Well, you get the idea. And we act hospitable to the occasional visitor. Breaks the monotony. A party of adventurers came through a few months back. They stayed with us a week. Much fun was had. Then they went west, and most of them got killed. Chasm Drake. Then there are merchants, messengers, supply caravans, and so on. This Drake sounds sort of tough. Fearsome, deadly, wealthy, remote. It doesn't bother us. We don't bother it. Could be something for us to investigate at some point. Sign by the spring says, Warning. Tunnels to west are barely explored. Beware of Chasm Drake. This guy over here must be Mick. You find a small, handsome man sitting and contemplating this small spring. He's eating a sandwich. I'm Mick. Watching the spring. That's how I pass the time. Pretty, isn't it? The moment you say her name, he chokes on his sandwich, smiles ecstatically, rolls his eyes, breathes heavily, and gets a headache. Simultaneously. There are no words in his response, but he communicates an awful lot. Belinda must be quite the woman. Also, I believe someone mentioned you've seen the Drake? I saw it. I did. It wanders the tunnels occasionally, and it came close. I was sitting here, and it saw me, and I saw it. I thought it was going to kill me, but it lost interest. Not hungry, I think. But it could have ate me in a second. It's huge. I hope I never see it again. Not that there's a whole lot more to see out here, but I left when I didn't want to. So if we feel like it, we can explore some of the tunnels to the west of Fort Remote. There is some interesting stuff back here. It's also a bit easy to get lost. You notice two things. First, there is a large flask partially obscured by a nearby pile of rubble. Second, a group of drakes on the hunt has cornered you in this passage. Before you can deal with the flask, the drakes charge. Uh-oh. That's a lot of drakes. That's a bunch of drakes. I'm going to curse and slow you guys and bless and haste myself. Because I would like to survive this. Let's see. Okay, this is the single target Ravage enemy. And slow group. Okay, that's kind of a lot of fire breath. Okay, do I have any good non-fire-based? Not as much. We can see what Ice Bolt does. Now there is some decent damage. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have any good non-fire-based area of effect spells. So this may go a little bit slower than I like. However, I did remember at some point that Kaylee has this ice staff. So let's use that instead of a whole pile of spell points. Nice. Yeah, so Ice Bolt, I believe, in this game is magic elemental more so than ice elemental. So it can be resisted by creatures that have magic resistance. Later games do add the ice element, which is most helpful. Oh, thanks. Why is my hasting wearing off already? Where? Oh, did it? I think that one drake that I cursed heavily went and ran off. Okay then. Let's choose another character that actually has room for some loot. What? Oh, there's one more alive. Herder. Now it's dead. So potentially lots of good stuff here. Fire Orb Necklace, I think, carries charges of either Fireball or Firestorm. I'm going to leave the spear and darts behind. Chances of them being any good are not so great. The flask is still there. Cool. So those were not the big chasm drake. Those were just regular drakes. The chasm drake has his own nuts. The chasm drake has his own lair a bit farther in. So I'm going to take care of these guys. See you in a minute. Okay. So drakes are pretty tough. They do drop good loot though. They also take a lot of spell points to deal with. So I do not think I will be going in to deal with the chasm drake just now. Let's save. This body might have had something useful on it, or have been useful as drake food, had not something reduced it to ashes. Probably one of said drakes. Yeah, run away, run away. Don't want to deal with you right now. What an oddly placed special dot. A group of soldiers in the armor of the surface world tried to defend themselves here. They failed. Everything of value, that you can find anyway, has been looted long since. Well now, what the heck are surface soldiers doing down here? Methinks there are mysteries that lie beyond Fort Remote. But we're in not such great shape to deal with them right now. Also, I've got a big pile of loot that I want to get identified and sold off. So I will go do that off screen, and we'll keep exploring in the next episode. Have a good one, everybody.